Hi Leo, thank you for joining me and welcome to my channel. This is your reading for March and April 2019. I'm Veroosh. Hey, so what we're going to do is take a look at your astrology and tarot for March and April, kind of focusing on tarot more than astrology here. And then we are going to do this extended in two sets of extended videos, one in March and one in April. Because I'm late posting this, so that's the way we'll do it. Only the signs that are getting a late video are going to have this feature. Sorry for being late, but that's the way to make it fair for everyone. Okay, so I did this in March, and in March package on Vimeo, you are going to get the extended for this reading right here, as well as your Mercury retrograde, and I'm not sure if there's a third one. I think there's only two for March, so go check that out if you're interested. Again, this reading covers March and April, but if you want to just get the April package, then this will be included there as well, and you will get 4 weekly readings for April. I'm splitting up differently, just trying a different thing for you guys in April, so let me know how you like that. I'm not going to get into the court cards, but you do have definitely a lot of people around. I think March and April are really about you focusing on moving forward past some ish that's been going on, but I think you're really leaving it behind and really enjoying yourself and really beginning some kinds of new levels of authority and confidence in your world or in your life, right? Okay, so let's take a look at your cards for March and April. I'm also switching the cards from the other readings that I did on YouTube, so I hope you don't mind. I'm going to use the Journey of Love Oracle cards for your pick a card option. The pick a card option is really just you choosing one of these 4 cards as your primary energy. All 4 cards are representative of Leo energy in March and April. Okay, so you get all 4, but maybe one stands out to you a bit more. Take a minute to figure that out. If you chose number 1, let's take a look at your card. You have the breaking. So one of the energies, I feel like this is you breaking away from some type of situation that you got caught up in that was big in the Vimeo as a theme, a situation that you didn't want to be involved in. You got caught up in negative attitudes with a toxic person or a toxic situation that seemed to follow you and you didn't want to continue in that direction. Okay, the next message is devotion to the small. I feel like rather than trying to take a look at your big life picture, which may be very triggering for you at this time, maybe focusing on what's at hand in the present moment will be more helpful for you. The reason for this is I feel like if you look at your bigger picture, some of the difficult things that you've gone through in the recent past will in some way make you feel as though you're behind, as though things have been really hard on you, some things have been unfair, and very quickly it will pull you into some negative mindset that may in some way make you feel less than good. The transits for March and April astrologically are quite good for you because most of the transits are happening in cardinal signs starting from March 21st on. So there's a lot of cardinal activity, and you're a fixed sign, so you're kind of avoiding some of those shifts and changes, with the exception of Mercury and Venus moving into Aries, which is your 9th house of ideas, adventure, travel, in which you will feel like excited to go in places. You and Aries are both fire signs, so there's a strong connection between the 9th house and your placements, your Leo placement. So you will have a taste for adventure, although there is some indication that you may want to go slow with making plans because they could get expensive. Let's take a look at your next message. So if you chose 3, we have the Heaven. So some good things are coming in for you. I really feel like you are long overdue for a positive situation. Your environment around you is becoming very clean and clear and removing all toxins and negative experiences. I feel like something latched onto you. Something latched onto you 3 years ago, 3 months, something like that. 3 years, 3 months, something like that. Maybe even 30 years. But there was some energy that had latched onto you and had kept kind of berating you or dragging you down, and you've been clearing that for the last 3 years, 3 months, 3 weeks, whatever. But it feels like a while, and it feels like the world is willing and really looking forward to giving you all these opportunities. However, that energy is kind of like sucking away at your ability to grasp those opportunities. But I do feel like that's now ending. So it's a feeling from the recent past in which you knew there was opportunities for you. You were feeling much more light and bright. Saturn is out of your 5th house. You're feeling better and better as the months go by. But you felt like you couldn't quite get there because your circumstances or your things were sort of tied up in other situations that were holding you back from fully enjoying the present moment. If you are number 4, your primary energy is the void. Remember, all 4 cards represent Leo, so they apply to everyone, but we have the void here. So the void is like almost like the vortex, you know, sending things in and allowing those things to kind of recycle. There's also something called a torus, which is an energetic field that in some way cycles energy in the universe. And so this is you in some way allowing certain things to go on an energetic level. That circumstance with someone or something latching on to you, really letting that go and finding closure in that situation in your heart so that you can sort of move on. It's almost like, you know, taking a rock, for example, and putting into that rock all your intentions of the negative situation and throwing it in a river and just walking by. So just going for a walk with your dog, if you have a dog, or just a nice walk by a river or a lake, and taking a rock, setting the intention into the rock and casting the rock into the river, allowing that energy to recycle into the universe. It's kind of like a release and a transition point. So pretty nice energy. We're going to keep these cards out, and I'm going to use the Journey of Love Oracle cards to do your main reading for March and April. So yeah, let's just get into it. I'm going to give them a little shuffle here. I like these cards because they're about the same, they're almost exactly the same size as those, except these are very thick, so I wish they were the same size, because then I would use them together. Okay, so I think they're the same manufacturer, that's why. One little fun fact about tarot cards is that very rarely are they exactly the same size. Every single deck has its own little kind of sizing. Okay, so we have your first card is the 7 of Stars. So you got to a level that you almost didn't know what to do about the situation that was holding you back. I feel like you felt like it was the Scarlet Letter. You felt like it was something that was in some way going to hold you back, that you would have to contend with forever. And then we have the 4 of Trees, which is the 4 of Pentacles. You know what traumatic bonding is? That's like this is like when someone is in sometimes with a trauma relationship, such as a hostage situation, Stockholm syndrome, or with an abusive partner, and they become bonded to the circumstance of the trauma, and in some way they hold themselves back because they in some way feel helpless, and so then they in some way relate to that person who's actually harming them. I feel like it's almost you being emotionally attached and scarred up by the situation. I really feel like Leos have been through some really kind of, you're working through at this time some really difficult moments in the past to do with, you know, problematic situations, hurtful situations, things that have been in some way scarring to you, have been bringing you down. And this is what happens in life when we have trauma. It holds us back from being ourselves, and that's why things like victim blaming, that came up in the Vimeo readings. Victim blaming so inappropriate, because abuse affects our psychology, which there in turn affects our ability to cope in our life, even if the source of the abuse is removed. And oftentimes we need counseling or some kind of secondary support to get through it, right? So this is the kind of situation that you start off with. This does not mean that like you're heavily admired in this situation. It probably means more that you are now facing it because you have healed and you have the space and the availability to, in some way, sorry, I had to fix that. Okay, hold on. Okay. You have the space and the availability to, in some way, deal with it now. So you're unpacking something from the past as opposed to getting into new stuff. This is something from the past, and especially those of you who have been followed or stalked by a situation, like energetically something's attached itself to you. I think you're really releasing it now. I think that's the energy. We have the 10 of Trees, loyalty. I feel like it's a family situation. I feel like it's a problematic family situation that in some way has you entangled and enmeshed. You feel a sense of responsibility, you feel a sense of attachment, which is there in fact really playing with your sensibility of needing to be there for others. Leos are very much like loyal and honest and thorough and upright, and so you feel a response. It's like it's almost like a double bind. A double bind is when you have like conflicting information that you are trying to balance out in your life, but both sometimes sources of information are mutually exclusive, and in some ways sometimes even hurtful. So it's like you can't do, it's like a catch-22. You can't do one thing or the other without really being hurt or experiencing hurt or feeling like really brought down by this. So it's like you're conflicted. That's what I'm looking for. You're conflicted in a situation in which you feel helpless, that's holding you back, but yet you feel responsibility to this. That's why I think it's a family situation, because it seems pretty enmeshed with something. It could be like a situation to do with your education. It could be to do with your career, but it's something that you've put a lot of effort into. Let's see your next message. So we have the Moon, which is the Piscean card, also sometimes referred to as Cancerian, because the Moon rules Cancer in astrology. Illusion, confusion, right? Confused feelings about the circumstances that you're attached to. Don't feel like this reading is going to be all bad. I feel like this is really setting the stage of the situation, and I feel like this is what is actually breaking. So it's acknowledging the fact that this is on your mind at this time. This is the thing that you're preoccupied with. This is the thing that you're worried about, but this is the thing that you're also leaving behind. A lot of retrogrades that happen in April allow you to look back into the past. In March, we have Mercury retrograde in Pisces. That is in your 6th house, right? 6th or 8th house. Changes and transitions. Let's see. I think it's in your 6th house. 6th house, right? Unless I'm wrong, who cares? But yeah, really looking back into the past and renegotiating those kinds of things, renegotiating things in the past, and this kind of cognitive dissonance, like the feeling that like the denial within which you live, because actually considering all these things are all mutually exclusive. They're fighting within your psychology. They're fighting within your mind, and they're sort of paradoxical. Like they're a paradox. So it's very hard to consider each one together, because when you consider all those things together, you live kind of in a state of denial, because you can only consider one at a time, because when you check it against the other pieces, it doesn't add up. It just doesn't. That's a paradox. It's a paradoxical situation, and that's leading to a lot of confusion. But this is the past, and this is what this is what's been under your skin. This is what's been holding you back from really enjoying life. And I think that this is the little rock that you're throwing into the river. Even if you didn't choose 4, you have you can do this. Do a little release ceremony, maybe around the full moon. There are 2 full moons in Libra. They're happening on March 21st and April 19th. So you have an opportunity to do that. So that's exciting. Your next message is the 9 of Stars. By the way, the March 21st full moon is actually a sextile to a lot of Leo placements. And unless you're a Leo at the end of Leo, in which case the April 29th full moon is a sextile to her placements. Sextiles give opportunity for these kinds of transitions, and it's true for you if you're a rising moon or sun, okay? So we have the 9 of Stars, 9 of Wands, sticking up for yourself, choosing. You have, okay, so this is you actively choosing to take a step back and consider positions that you are taking. This is saying, no, I can't hang out right now. I need to address some things within myself. So this is you taking some time outs this month. The Ace of Hearts, see, encouragement and love. In the Vimeo reading, you end up with the 2 of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles. So there is definitely a strong love energy here. I feel like in some ways you'll get frustrated with holding yourself back, and so you're going to become open. A Leo can't really hold themselves back. Like a Leo who's holding themselves back is actually really, really hurt. And so when they open themselves up a little bit, it's almost like you burst out. You can't help it. You're like kids. And I don't mean to like infantilize you, but you do have that forthcoming good willing energy, right? So even in circumstances that are very complicated, you have a tendency to open your heart, to welcome love in, and you heal in such a way through love. You're the ruler of the 5th house of love, of passion, of the solar plexus, those kinds of energies. It's a very forthcoming energy. So that really goes in your favor to solving whatever's been going on. We have the Knight of Stars. He is the adventurer. Knight of Wands, Sag, Leo, or Aries. Secondary transits in air, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. I feel like there's people around you who are fire signs in March and especially April. I feel like there's definitely an adventure that is being offered to you in some way. Somebody's hitting you up. I do have a sense that this person, you already know, but this person in some way may be, this person, how do you say this? This person may in some way, like you go with them to Europe only and they'll run off and go do a million things by themselves. Not because they're dishing you, but they're just that kind of person. So, you know, it seems like you're being offered like a trip together or some kind of adventure, but you already know this person's sort of flighty. And so, yeah, Queen of Pentacles, a nurturer, Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. Secondary transits in water, Pisces maybe. And this is a very watery, you know, Queen of Trees. I love this card so much, right? So beautiful. So this could be a couple, a partnership. I feel like an earth sign or a water sign, female, definitely female, is giving you clarity in all of this. So in one way, this is a stressor point because this is, you want stability and you want consistency right now because you're working through these things. This person is going to kind of create a lot of a dust storm, right? But also opportunities. They're kind of waking you up out of your kind of isolation. But this Queen of Trees, I feel like she's really speaking to your confusion, and she's clarifying it. You can see her kind of pouring out from the moon and then someone conveying to you the truth. So I think you're going to have some kind of key conversation. Through the details of that conversation, it's going to really stir up some release that's going to happen. That breaking's going to happen away from the things that you feel not trapped by, but you've been kind of attached to. Here is your next message. We have the 7 of Trees, my favorite card in this deck. And so we have the 7 of Pentacles. So you're really you're weighing out social issues versus planning towards your own life in a specific direction. I feel like there's a real desire to take control over your life, to take control over your situations and circumstances, and push ahead away from things that have hurt you in the past. And so I feel like you feel the pressure of protecting yourself, building your life in a good direction, all of those things. And I feel like you want to be responsible to the blessings and the gifts that you're having. Well, at the same time, you in some way are dealing with all these people who are showing up, and they're stimulating your life in different ways. I think this is monumental. This is the primary relationship I would look out for. I feel like this person is going to tell you some information that is going to free you from all that cognitive dissonance, paradoxical attachment to these three different states. Those are three different states that you're trying to sort of break away from, because you're really caught in that paradox, right? You're really caught between some things here. And this is sort of, I don't feel like it's a bad offer. I feel like it's coming at a bad time, like it's not such a great time. And so but on the other side, you're putting in a lot of effort towards your career, towards taking control of your life, financial issues. So there are two different sides of what's going on. Here is the next message, the Six of Trees, receiving. Okay, so reciprocity, giving and taking. I feel like somebody's going to come through with a very nice gesture. They're going to give you something like a gift, and that's going to really spark your heart. We have the King of Hearts, the healer, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. A group of friends. I feel like people are trying to help you. This person really is helping you, so look out for this person. It could be a man, but I really feel it's a woman. There's a group of friends who are trying to interject and help, but I feel like it's actually, you need to do it yourself to do it right. It is what it is. And I feel like this person is sort of the architect of the whole situation. Four of Hearts, depression. Four of Hearts to me isn't like an offer. So I don't really think of it as depression, and I don't feel like it is that in and of itself. I think that there's a little bit of a paradox in the sense that you want people in your life, but actually their interjection here is feeling like claustrophobic, like you really need to make some decisions for yourself, and I feel like they're in some way offering you things, but they're not the right things. I feel like she makes you aware of what you need, which is such a win, because you now know what you need to get yourself. Here is the next message. We have the Six of Angels, Six of Swords. We have a few sixes, right? 6, 6, 7, 4. Okay, so this is the Six of Swords. I feel like when you decide what you're going to do this month, between March and April, when you are free and you're going to throw the past in the past and move forward in this new direction, I feel like you're going to let go of something that was going to yield for you some financial gain, but I think in the scheme of things, it's not going to work in the way that you had planned or that you wanted to. You were sort of making it work because you could make it work, but it wasn't really the place for you anyway. So there is this sort of transition, moving away towards something, knowing that you're making a bit of a sacrifice for something much better, something that resonates much better for you and is much more in line with who you are. Two of Angels, Two of Swords, which is balance, making peace with a decision in the past to leave something behind. You may have already left behind a job or some type of situation. It's totally your choice, and it's a fit issue. Something's not a fit, and you're moving on. You're making peace with it. There's going to be some consolation prizes that the universe brings forward, like blessings that you're going to receive as you move on. The Knight of Angels, the Watcher, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, secondary transits in air, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. I feel like maybe this is you, oftentimes, like knowing which direction you'll go, and in some way there's like a loyalty here between you and these people, moving things along, but informed and for yourself. So it's like making yourself happy first and foremost, but then also not, I don't think you'll go for this adventure with these people or whatever they're stirring up for you. I think they're trying to help, but I don't think it's what you need. So I think you're going to come to the realization that you need to go in your own direction. You're going to make peace with that. But I think that your relationship is not jeopardized by that decision at all. It's just people trying to help. Boom, awesome card at the end, the Ten of Hearts, the culmination. So I feel like you're going to make a decision to go with what feels really right for you. And I think you're going to be very satisfied. Five of Angels. So dealing with something that didn't work out, contending with something that didn't work out, throwing that away, and going after what you do want and what is a good fit for you, which is the Knight of Angels and the Ten of Hearts. I feel as though, you know, this is taking accountability for your life and being free to make your own decisions and knowing what is a good vibration for you and going with that step by step. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope I made up for my tardiness, but you know, we're not robots. And definitely, if I ever post late, there are a lot of videos in the playlist for Leo. You should check that out, or on my app on Android. I keep that updated. So that's a lot of good content. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a nice day. Take care. See you soon. Bye.